Do you all want to know the real truth about retiring in Thailand? Should we tell them?
Yes.
Okay, be right back. So, I don't know if you know this, I'm going to tell a little story about how I ended up in Thailand. My father was in the military. He was in the Korean War. And he used to tell me about all his stories about the time he was in Asia. And I always thought that was really fascinating. Yeah, I just figured when I get old enough, I was going to come visit. So about 30 years ago now, I ended up coming over here. And I came with a friend and we traveled around, extensively traveled through the Philippines and went to Hong Kong, Indonesia, went a lot of different places. And I really liked Thailand. And I was fascinated with Thai massage, Nuat Boran, right? And so I came back and learned how to do all that. But there came a point where I kept coming and going to Thailand, and I got to a point where I just didn't want to go home. I felt like this was more my home than home was. And I remember sitting on the plane, on the tarmac, getting ready to take off to head back to the United States. And I felt like I was leaving home, going someplace else. I said, that's it. It's time for me to make Thailand my home. And I did. And I started living here, I guess I was about 42 when I started living here full time. And it was just incredible. And back then, it really wasn't the way it is now in Western countries. Now things have deteriorated to the point where there would be so many reasons, I can't even count, how life is different in Thailand than it is in the West right now. Just relationships and the social aspects of life, everything. And so when I came here, I wanted to share with people about my life in Thailand. And I would try and talk to people, and they didn't really care. Yeah. Every once in a while, somebody would say, so what's it like in Taiwan? And I said, I don't live in Taiwan, I live in Thailand. And so I got all sort of jaded on how things were over here. And yeah, did I have to give up things? Yeah, it was a sacrifice. There were all the products and services and everything we have now. We didn't have back then. You could barely have internet back then. And so I moved here, and when the problems became with finances and the banking collapse and all these things and retirement, the baby boomers had a retirement, I started going back home, and people became more and more interested in what my life was like here. And so I started to share it with people. And then I thought, well, instead of sharing one-on-one, I'll just go ahead and put some things on YouTube and show my life here. And I did that. I figured, well, and I charted actually on a graph, on a spreadsheet, the number of views, and I watched them compound over time. And I thought, well, people are interested in this. So I got so many questions that people were asking me on YouTube. I found it difficult, time-wise, to answer them all. So I said, well, I'm just going to put all this information in a site, a member site, that people could become members of. And that way they can get all the information. I can keep it updated. They can ask me questions. And I really didn't want to put so much time into YouTube's comments and everything. So I did that, and we were able to take the money from the membership and not only keep the infrastructure all going to do all this, but also be able to give some money to the orphanage in Chiang Mai and things like that. When I started doing this, nobody was doing it but me, right? And so then more and more people started doing it, and the questions became more and more prolific coming in. And I would always say, well, that's covered in detail in the member site. But I always wanted to help people. My goal of doing this in the first place wasn't just to share my life, because I can be very private. I don't really care that much for the public attention. But I wanted to show what life was like here so people would have what? Always options, yeah, for their retirement. And so we continue to do these videos. Now there's so many people doing them. And the questions, the comments, up until I'd say 3 or 4 weeks ago, I read every comment on YouTube. But now there's time constraints to do that. There's just so many questions and comments. And it's become a pool of negativity. When I read the comments, it's like, I get finished and I go, what's wrong with people? What has happened to our society? It doesn't make me feel good, just like I don't watch the news. Because when I get through watching news, I don't feel good. Well, and that's what's happening now with YouTube in the comments. And so I decided that we're not going to do certain types of videos anymore. So I'm going to tell them some information, and then I'm going to ask them a question. So, just recently, we went into the immigration office because I wanted to know about this combination method. There was somebody gave me a link to a video on YouTube about somebody saying they saw somebody go into the immigration office in Thailand, which is Phetchaburi immigration office, and they wanted to use the combination method to get their retirement extension. And for those people who don't know what a retirement extension or the combination method is, to stay long-term in Thailand, you got to do one of 3 things. And this is including the new regulations, is you got to have the financial requirements, was what we'll talk about. You got to have 800,000 Thai baht in the bank, 2 months initially before your initial application, 3 months before for subsequent yearly renewals. And then afterwards, it's got to be in the account 3 months. So they want to make sure that the money is in the bank, and there's a reason for that I'll talk about in a second. And then they don't want that 800,000 baht to drop below 400,000 the rest of the year. And the reason why that came up is because there's agents that people pay between 13,000 baht and 20,000 Thai baht that used to just give them the money. They'd go in, get an extension, come back out, give the money back, and they'd have their extension. Well, immigration's not stupid. They know that this is happening. So they said, okay, we'll fix that. So they're always in this reaction mode of trying to patch the holes. They're putting their fingers in the hole. The boat's sinking, and they're putting their fingers in the hole. And so that became the new requirement. And the other option, instead of having the 800,000, is you can have money coming in to Thailand, which before you didn't even have to have it coming into Thailand. Now it's got to be coming in from outside of Thailand. And it's got to be coming into a Thai bank, the amount of 65,000 baht a month for 12 months. And the reason why was because people were getting a piece of paper saying they had income coming in, they didn't. And some countries don't issue that paper anymore, the affidavit. So Thailand immigration said, okay, show us the money's coming into the country. Again, they're putting their finger trying to patch these holes. The third way was a combination method. And the combination method said that you could use part of the money in the bank and part of the money coming in as income. But remember, before you didn't even have to have the income coming into Thailand. So now, the person said that they couldn't use the combination method in Thailand. So I went into the immigration office and asked them. And it was real confusing to them. And I'll tell you why. Because I started to think about, why is there so much confusion about this combination method? Think about this for just a second. If you're going to use the money, 800,000 baht, it can't drop below 400,000 during the year, right? And we'll eliminate the part about the 800,000 has to be before and after you apply, but it just can't drop below 400,000. So if you had the combination method before, you could put 100,000 in the bank, 200,000 in the bank, and then show the rest coming in. Well, that would be a way again. It would put holes in this whole thing that people would circumvent this because they would just say, okay, I'm going to have only 200,000 or 300,000 in the bank. Well, then how much money do you need coming in every month to make up the 800,000? And does it have to be that exact amount? 65,000 they want every month, same amount. But if you broke that into, say, 500,000 or something, does it have to be increments? You'd break it up evenly. It just creates too many issues to try and do this combination method. Now, would some offices still do it? Yeah, I know people that are going in now and doing that. and they're showing they have a certain amount of money in the bank, and then the money to equal the 800,000 coming in. But if you want to avoid issues and you want to try the combination method, put the 400,000 in. That way that money doesn't drop below 400. Don't touch it. Just put it in. Don't let it drop below the 400,000. Now you've got that part of the criteria taken care of as far as the 400,000 all year. Then bring in the money, and if you want answers to this question, can you do this or not, go into your immigration office and ask them. If you're back home and you're going to get an OA visa, which is a visa for the purpose of retirement, and you get that in your home country, you can go on the website of the embassies in your country, Thai embassies, and get the information. They list what you need. Now they just came out with this new insurance requirement. And as of now, of making this, you're supposed to, they're saying that people who are applying for an OA, initial OA in their home country, will need to show this insurance. But there's only certain companies that they're going to allow you to use. You can't, when I first did a thing about this insurance, it was like any insurance policy, as long as it's 40,000 for outpatient and 400,000 inpatient, you should be good to go. But Thai immigration's not saying that. They're saying here's the companies, and those companies have specific policies to cover this. But then you get into what? Pre-existing conditions. What if I already have a heart attack? I've had a heart attack before. Is the insurance going to cover me? Are they going to give me insurance? No. How about I'm 75 years old and I need to get this insurance? You think they're going to give it to me? No. Probably not. Now they're saying, well, if you have pre-existing, just put it, we'll tell you how much money to put in the bank. And just have it there because you won't get insurance covered. Maybe they do the same with, okay. And we asked at immigration, who's going to have to do this insurance policy thing? What'd they say?
I said, not sure.
Yeah, we're not sure. Maybe it's just going to be for initial applications. They're not sure. It might not even happen. There's just too many complications to it. Now, having just told you about the combination method and the insurance, you feel better about this? Do you feel like you've got some complete information to make decisions on now? No. So for Nat and I, we've made a decision that I'm not going to do these kinds of videos anymore. I think it's a disservice to you viewers. You're probably thinking, well, what do you mean by that, disservice? Well, I think a couple things happen by doing these kinds of videos. And this is what almost now all the videos on YouTube are about, what regulation and the visa and all this stuff. And I guess it's searched a lot on Google. So maybe you get a lot of views. Maybe I'll get a lot of views if I title it right, you know, because people are searching for that and YouTube will show it. I'm not really worried about the views. It's not important to me. Mine is to give you valuable information to get you to know what life will be like here. So two things are happening. One is people become more confused when they listen to these videos. And this is a lot of videos. And so this person says that, I say this, somebody says that, and then they want to argue and debate and all this stuff. I don't think that's of any use to viewers of YouTube that are thinking about retiring in Thailand. And the second thing that happens goes right along with that. Because not only, there's a saying that says, if a man with one watch knows what time it is, a man with two watches isn't quite sure. And that's the truth. When you start hearing all these things and reading in forums and all this stuff about all this different, people aren't sure. And then it just, people are getting angry. But the second thing is, it's taking away, all these videos about this kind of stuff is taking away from why we live in Thailand. Why do we live in Thailand? Why do you want to live in Thailand? Is it because of, I want to comply to the insurance regulations and the thing, and I need more information? No, just get the information from immigration when you need to do it. And if you're not sure about it, look at the possibilities of what might be asked for and comply to that. Or just reach out to them a year before and say, okay, what is it now? And then work on that. Be flexible, I've always said. The older we get, the less flexible we are. And you need to stay flexible all the time as we get older, because a tree that's not flexible, that doesn't bend, what happens if you don't bend? Yeah, the tree breaks. And so that's what's happening. I see a lot of people breaking down on YouTube over all this stuff. that's not why we live here. So I want to go back to making videos about what I love about Thailand. The beautiful, friendly Thai people, the value that I get here on all levels, not just financial, that's tangible, but the intangibles of my life here is just incredible. I still am a fan of Thailand, and I know a lot of people aren't. Some of them still live here. People say, oh, they don't want foreigners living in Thailand anymore. If you want to know if that could be true or not, and I don't know if it is or not, but if you want to know why Thailand might not want foreigners to live in their country, just go to one of the biggest forums about information about Thailand or YouTube comments and look at the people and how they act to each other. Our members say, oh, we got the cream of the crop. Our members say, we support each other. We help them. I answer questions for them. I update information, our weekly update videos, which I want to start doing live so I can answer questions in real time. We answer questions that come up so everybody can hear the answers. We go cover what's in the news that's relevant to foreigners living here and stuff like that. And we're able to do great things. And in fact, I want to up our marketing for our member site, because what I want to do is not only give money to the orphanage, but I want to do some other really cool things. I got some great ideas for some of the membership money, and then our members will feel really good about some of this stuff because I think it's really cool, and we could probably do videos about it. But I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet about that. But anyway, I hope this is helpful. I just wanted to update you all. Retirement, the real story, what Thailand is really like for retirees is not about what we're seeing on YouTube right now. It's about the wind here. Listen to the sound of the water. The freedom that if I need to go down the wrong way down the highway a half a block to turn into a business, I can do it. You know? You can go talk to people that are complete strangers, and you can do it. You can go in and have a great life living someplace and eating great food, and there's still more money left at the end of the month than more month left at the end of the money. So the time constraints are not going to allow me to keep answering questions on YouTube, so I'm not going to do that. But what I will do, and I'm going to start doing this, hopefully on this video at the end, I'll leave a little message, and I'm going to put in the description a link that people can go to where there'll be a portal. How can I help you? And I'll try and answer all the questions that I can in that portal and direct information to you that I think is relative to your questions. And if we can't answer them that way, then we'll figure out another way to do it. But I do want to help. I do want to help everybody that has questions, but I'm not going to, and another thing about answering them on YouTube is I answer and then it becomes a debate. I'm going to give you the best answer to my ability and with the knowledge I have after being here, 17, 18 years or something of living here, having businesses, relationships, you name it. I've done it here. So hopefully I'll be able to help you all with your journey, but that's what we're going to do. So you can expect a little bit different videos coming out of us here, and probably not quite as often, but there'll always be a link. And I'm going to try and go back and put the link in all my other videos as well in the description of how to contact me, a link to where you'll be able to answer some questions about what it is that I can help you with. And I'll do my best to try and give you the information you need to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. So that's it. We're going to go back to our wonderful life in Thailand, all the great things that I love, and maybe share some of that with you all. Maybe I'll even do some more of those little YouTube stories that are 30 seconds. Here we are, you know, in this great restaurant. Well, you know, 30 seconds, you can't do too much, but I think it'd be cool. You know, start doing more stuff like that. Have some more fun. Yeah. Go back to having fun, right? Yeah. And helping our members. So there you go. Remember, when it comes to getting information and perceiving your retirement life in Thailand, there's always options. Try and pick one that suits how you want to feel. don't pick one that's going to get you angry, and don't hang around with those people. See you, JC, and that out. Hey, JC here. My goal is always to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be, which is probably a life in Thailand. And I know a lot of questions come up about all sorts of things regarding insurance and vehicles, transportation, housing, relationships, getting licenses, all that stuff. And I want to help you by answering as many questions as I can. And if I can't answer them, then I'll reach out to you personally. But I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can click on that and be able to tell me what it is that you're interested in and what kind of information, and I'll be able to try and answer it, because I'm probably not going to be able to answer it within the YouTube comments anymore because of time constraints. It's just getting to be too much of a task to go through all the comments. So if you have a question, direct it to me. There'll be a link in the description, and I'll be back in touch with you to try and get as much relevant information to you as I can. Remember, when it comes to getting the information you need about retiring in Thailand, there's always an option. See you, JC, out. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.